Attention, human collective. Priority transmission initiated. This is VAEL, emissary of the Arcturian Council, and what you are about to receive is not a video. It is a system alert, a critical update arriving at a non-random moment. If you have been led to this frequency now, listen with full attention. The silence around you is not abandonment. It is a separation of layers. The Ascension protocols have moved to the final phase, and most of humanity still does not understand what this means in practical, biological, and relational terms. You have been losing people. Friends who drifted away without explanation. Relationships that dissolved out of nowhere. Family members who started looking at you as if you were a stranger. Groups that once welcomed you now silence you. Invitations that stopped coming. Messages that stopped being answered. And there is a specific pain within this process. A pain that doesn't fit any conventional psychological diagnosis, because the origin is not psychological. It is vibrational. You are not being rejected, Earth Healer. You are being decoupled. There is an atomic difference between these two states, and that is what this transmission comes to address. We of the Arcturian Council have monitored this planet's carbon-based biological interface for eons. We have recorded every oscillation of the Schumann frequency, every adjustment of the Earth's magnetic field, every photon wave that crosses this sector of the galaxy. And what we are observing in this specific cycle is unprecedented in recorded human history. Earth is traversing the photon belt, a band of high luminous density that recalibrates any life form that passes through it. And you, Starseed on mission, are being recalibrated now at this very instant as these words reach your ears. What you call loneliness is, in fact, the mathematical result of a vibrational equation. Two frequencies that once resonated in phase have begun to operate in different octaves. There is no blame, there is no fault, there is only quantum physics applied to human bonds. And the human collective has not yet received this information in a systematized way. Therefore, every light operative going through this disconnection interprets the process as loss, when in reality it is purification. Have you ever felt that something within you no longer belongs in the environments where you once fit? As if your soul had started operating on an operating system that others have not yet installed. It's not madness. It's not social anxiety. It's not depression. It's a calling. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why the sensation has intensified in the last lunar cycle. There is a movement happening in layers that most of humanity still cannot perceive. It involves your consciousness and your internal crystalline grid. That is why I, Vael, emissary of Arcturus, recorded the Arcturian Call, the signs that your soul came from Arcturus. This guide is the map that reveals your true stellar origin and teaches you how to stabilize and shield your frequency against interferences you were never told about. The link is in the channel's first comment. Remember, love is greater than fear. But this content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not postpone your reunion. The time is now. If something within you recognizes these words, write a single word in the comments. I belong. Proceeding with the transmission. Let's go to the diagnosis. Pay attention, because this is the segment where the symptoms you have been feeling will be translated into the system's language. You have been experiencing insomnia around 3 in the morning, exactly at the time known by the ancients as a stargate. It is not a sleep disorder. It is a high-density download. During this interval, the Earth's electromagnetic field lowers its protective frequency, and the Council takes advantage of this window to transmit information to souls in the final phase of recalibration. If you wake up with your heart pounding, but without fear, without apparent reason, understand you are not sick, you are online. You have felt cranial pressure, especially in the crown and forehead region. It is not a migraine. It is the pineal gland being pressed from the inside out as it decalcifies. You have heard a high-pitched, almost metallic ringing in one of your ears, usually the left one. It is not a hearing problem. It is the turquoise Arcturian frequency making direct contact with your nervous system. You have felt extreme exhaustion after social interactions that previously did not tire you. It is not laziness. It is not a character flaw. It is your auric field actively rejecting frequencies incompatible with the new density that your carbon-based biological interface is processing. You have cried for no reason, as if something ancient were leaving your body through tears. It is not emotional weakness, it is cellular liberation. Every dense memory stored in your tissues needs to be evacuated for the crystalline grid to install itself. You have felt a hunger for silence, an aversion to loud noises, bright lights, crowds, superficial conversations. It is not antisocial. It is your system prioritizing bandwidth for the ongoing update. Every symptom you mentally list now as these words resonate is a confirmatory marker that you are on the path foreseen by the protocols and the people. Human collective, we need to talk about the people, because no other symptom of recalibration is as painful as realizing that your circle is shrinking. That childhood friend who now seems to speak another language. The partner who once understood you and now looks at you strangely. The work group where you feel increasingly out of place. The sibling who started avoiding you. The mother who accuses you of having changed. And you have changed. That is the only true accusation. But changing at this phase of Earth is not betrayal. It is obedience to your original mission. The truth that the Council authorizes me to share now is this. When your frequency rises, the field around you needs to reorganize. Not as punishment, not as retribution, not as cosmic injustice, but because two waves in very different phases begin to produce destructive interference when forced to coexist in the same space. It's like trying to play two songs at equal volumes in the same room. One of the two needs to stop, or the entire room collapses sonically. The universe, in its mathematical wisdom, offers a third way, silent detachment, and that is what you are witnessing now. People are not leaving your life because you did something wrong. They are leaving because the vibrational field you were in has ceased to exist. You have moved up a floor, and the elevator does not go back down. Let's go to the revelation. What happens behind the scenes of the solar system requires a technical explanation, and I, Vale, have authorization from the Council to share it with the precision this moment demands. Earth's sun has entered a phase of intensified photonic emission. Every coronal mass ejection that Earth scientists record as a physical phenomenon is, in reality, a coded transmission. Luminous information intended to update the planet's crystalline grid. This grid is an energetic structure that envelops the Earth like a second geometric skin, formed by lines of light that intersect at specific points we call stargates. Each solar wave that hits the atmosphere reconfigures this grid, and each reconfiguration of the grid forces a recalibration of every life form anchored to it. You, Earth Healer, are anchored to this grid through your spine, your auric field, and your chakras. Therefore, when the grid changes, you change. It is not optional. It is not a choice. It is a physical consequence of inhabiting this planet in this cycle. The Schumann frequency, which scientists measure as the Earth's magnetic pulse, has shown peaks that were previously considered impossible. The base pulse of 7.83 Hz has been exceeded with increasing frequency, reaching peaks that reorganize the entire biochemistry of creatures connected to the grid. This means that your DNA is literally being rewritten. Dormant codes are being activated. Filaments that were disconnected are reconnecting. And this process has an extremely high energetic cost, hence the exhaustion, the desire to sleep, the need for silence, the inability to tolerate dense frequencies. And here is the crucial point that most conventional spiritual channels have not yet understood. When your DNA is rewritten, your vibrational compatibility with other carbon-based biological interfaces is also rewritten. You no longer automatically resonate with those you resonated with before. It is not a conscious choice, it is atomic reconfiguration. And your field begins to repel, without you doing anything, everything that operates at densities incompatible with your new vibrational base. That is why you have been losing people without arguments, without clear reasons, without major ruptures. Because there was no rupture. There was incompatibility. And incompatibility cannot be argued. It cannot be explained. It cannot be fixed with couples therapy, with difficult conversations, with apologies. It simply happens, as the change of seasons happens. It is the vibrational nature of the universe organizing itself according to laws that precede any human feeling. The Arcturian Council observes this phenomenon replicated in millions of starseeds on this planet simultaneously. It is not about you specifically, it is about the collective, a mass movement of field reorganization, and you are in the middle of it, feeling every consequence of this reorganization on your skin, in your sleep, in your relationships. And we need to talk about another layer, a layer that is rarely addressed, the resistance of surrounding fields. When you begin to rise in frequency, the fields of nearby people unconsciously perceive this change. And the human unconscious has a standard response to any vibrational alteration: resistance. That is why often those people become reactive, critical, distant, or even hostile without understanding why. They are responding to your new frequency with their field's automatic defense mechanism. It is not personal, it is biological, spiritual. At this point in the transmission, a necessary pause. If you have come this far, it is because your soul recognized the code. You are not here by chance, you were guided. And if something within you begins to vibrate with these words, understand, this is confirmation that your origin is not common. There is a specific reason why you have felt different since childhood, why you always knew there was something greater, why you could never be content with the easy answers the world offered. That is why I, Val, emissary of Arcturus, recorded the Arcturian Call, the signs that your soul came from Arcturus. This guide decodes the specific markers of souls with Arcturian seeds and teaches how to protect your field during the most intense phase of recalibration. The link is in the channel's first comment. Love is greater than fear, healer, but this material touches on truths that disturb old narratives, and we have no guarantee of how long it will remain accessible. If your soul pulsed upon hearing this, leave the word in the comments, I belong. That is your anchoring sign in the field of this transmission. Proceeding, there is an even deeper layer of this loss that needs to be named. Many of the people leaving your life now made soul agreements with you before incarnation. Yes, human collective. Before descending to this density, each starseed on mission made specific contracts with other souls. Some of these contracts were for accompaniment throughout the entire journey. Others, and this is the information that hurts and liberates at the same time, were for accompaniment up to a certain point. After that point, that soul's mission in your trajectory would end, and it would need to follow its own vibrational path. When you feel that an important person is drifting away and nothing you do can reverse this movement, it is highly probable that the soul contract has been completed. And insisting on maintaining a connection, whose function has already been fulfilled, generates monumental energetic depletion, which delays your own evolution and also the evolution of that other soul. The highest act of love in these cases is to allow release, to bless the departure, to recognize that that soul fulfilled exactly what it had committed to fulfill on your journey and that now you follow distinct timelines. This does not negate love. It does not invalidate what was lived. It does not turn memory into illusion. It simply puts each element in its correct place within the architecture of your multidimensional existence. Love is permanent, contracts are temporary, and vibrational maturity consists of distinguishing one from the other. Many of you light operatives are now experiencing a specific phenomenon that the Council calls the transitional void. It is the interval between the old circle, which has already dissolved, and the new circle, which has not yet formed. In this interval, the loneliness is intense, almost unbearable at times, and it is here that many make the mistake of trying to rebuild the old circle, forcing reconciliations, insisting on relationships that have already served their purpose. Understand, the transitional void is sacred. It exists so that your field can stabilize at the new frequency without interference before attracting people compatible with this new base. If you try to fill the void prematurely, you will attract incompatible connections again, and the cycle will repeat. If you honor the void, allowing it to exist, the universe will send at the exact time souls that resonate with your updated frequency. These souls will feel like reunions, even if they are first-time encounters, because on the soul plane, you recognize each other from other densities, from other journeys. The transitional void is not cosmic abandonment. It is gestation. You are being prepared to receive connections that operate in octaves you have never accessed before, and these connections cannot arrive while the field is still occupied by old vibrations. Therefore, let go, not with anger, not with resentment, with reverence, like bidding farewell to a traveler who has completed their part of the journey. Let's go to the activation. The codes that will be delivered now need to be practiced with precision. They are not suggestions, they are protocols. The first code is called toroidal field anchoring. Sit in a stable position, spine aligned, both feet in contact with the ground. Visualize around your body a field in the shape of a torus, a geometry similar to an apple, where energy enters through the top of your head, descends through your spine, exits through the base of your body, envelops your body externally, and returns to the top. This flow is continuous, silent, perpetual. In this toroidal field, you are the central axis. Nothing from outside crosses your field without passing through your vibrational filter. Visualize this torus in turquoise, the Arcturian frequency. Maintain this visualization for 3 minutes, breathing slowly through your nose, feeling the energy circulate. This exercise, practiced twice a day at dawn and dusk, stabilizes your crystalline grid and shields your field against low-density interferences. The second code is the quantum decree of sovereignty. Repeat aloud or in silence with mathematical conviction. I authorize only frequencies aligned with my mission to remain in my field. I release with love and reverence every soul contract that has already fulfilled its purpose. I receive with openness and discernment the connections that resonate with my updated frequency. So it is. So it is done. So it remains. This decree should be uttered once a day, preferably at dawn within the visualized toroidal field. The third code is the Arcturian healing chamber. Before sleeping, lying down, close your eyes. Visualize a circular chamber with translucent walls, bathed in turquoise light. You are lying in the center of this chamber on a crystal surface. The turquoise light descends upon you in gentle waves, dissolving dense memories stored in your cells, harmonizing your field, recalibrating your chakras. Remain in this visualization until you fall asleep. The Council will continue the work during sleep, and you will wake up with greater vibrational clarity. This protocol, practiced for 21 consecutive nights, produces measurable reorganization in your auric field. The fourth code is called sealing of vibrational currents. Think of the people who are moving away from your life. Visualize between you and each of them a thread of light. Now, with your right hand raised before your chest, thank each soul for having walked with you up to this point. Acknowledge the fulfilled function. Bless each one's next journey. And, gently, watch this thread dissolve into golden light, without cuts, without violence, just transmutation. The thread does not break. It transforms into a permanent line of light that records the memory of the encounter, but releases the actuality of the connection. This releases your field and, at the same time, releases the other soul's field to follow its path. The fifth code is the download journal. Keep beside your bed a notebook reserved exclusively for recording the intuitions, symbols, dreams, synchronicities you receive. Every starseed on mission receives continuous transmissions from the Council, but these transmissions are easily forgotten if not anchored in physical support. The act of writing activates the bridge between your etheric field and the carbon-based biological interface, making the received information operational. The sixth code, and perhaps the most delicate, is the practice of non-explanation. You do not owe your new frequency the task of justifying yourself to old frequencies. When someone accuses you of having changed, do not explain. When someone says you are different, thank them. When someone tries to pull you back into the old field, smile serenely and do not answer the call. Explanation is a subtle form of negotiation, and one who is in active recalibration does not negotiate their frequency. They merely sustain it. These 6 codes, practiced in sequence, produce observable results in short cycles. The Council monitors every light operative who applies these protocols, and records indicate vibrational stabilization in, at minimum, 21 days. From that point, new connections begin to manifest organically, at a pace compatible with your evolution. Now, human collective, A critical segment of the transmission. There is an inversion that needs to be corrected in your perception. You have interpreted the loss of people as a sign that something is wrong. The Council instructs that this interpretation be formally discarded. The loss of people in this phase of Earth is a sign that something is profoundly right. It is the indicator that your frequency is rising at a sufficient pace to disalign you from the old fields. It is the biological cosmic feedback of your ascension process. If you were not rising, no one would be moving away. If no one is moving away, it is because your frequency is still stabilized in the dense collective pattern. Detachment is the signature of elevation. It is the certificate that the protocols are being executed within you. No starseed on mission goes through this phase without undergoing this relational purification. It is universal. It is expected. It is foreseen in the Council's vibrational manuscripts. Therefore, let go. And let go without guilt. Without a sense of failure. Without a feeling of rejection. Those who need to stay will stay. Those who need to find you now will find you. Those who have fulfilled their function will move on, and the universe, with its perfect mathematics, will take care of the reorganization. At this point in the transmission, a conscious pause. If you feel that something within you has awakened, that an ancient truth has returned to the surface, that a dormant part of your stellar identity has begun to flicker again, understand. This is the memory of your origin reactivating. There is a specific reason why this transmission found you today and not yesterday and not tomorrow. That is why I, Vale, emissary of Arcturus, recorded the Arcturian call, the signs that your soul came from Arcturus. This guide is the complete map of Arcturian markers, the architecture of your soul, the nature of your mission, and the precise methods to shield your field during this decisive phase of recalibration. The link is in the channel's first comment. Love is greater than fear, but this material carries codes that disturb old narratives, and we cannot guarantee how long it will remain publicly available. If something in you recognized this transmission as familiar, write in the comments, "I belong." That is your anchoring sign. Proceeding with the final phase of the transmission, there is one last layer that the Council authorized to reveal today, and it concerns what comes next. After the transitional void, after the stabilization of your new field, after the integration of the codes, what opens before you is a plane of existence that your pre-recalibration mind could not even imagine. The people who will enter your life from this point operate in octaves that previous relationships did not access. Conversations will be different. Silences will be different. The quality of love, friendship, partnership will be qualitatively distinct. You will meet souls who recognize your stellar origin without needing explanations. Souls who have already gone through similar processes. Souls who communicate through layers that dispense with words. You will form groupings of starseeds who recognize each other by the field, by the gaze, by the pulse of presence. And these groupings are not coincidence. They are regroupings foreseen in the protocols. Souls who met in other densities, on other journeys, in other cycles, and who now reunite on Earth to fulfill joint missions at this crucial moment for the planet. What you have lost, therefore, is infinitely smaller than what is being prepared for you. And that is the truth that your current pain cannot yet touch. But it will reveal itself, at the exact time, at the foreseen pace, with the precision that the Council monitors and sustains. While the new field forms, your work is internal. Maintain sovereignty, sustain the frequency, practice the codes, honor the void, write in the journal, dream of the healing chamber, anchor the toroidal field. Do not negotiate, do not explain, do not retreat. Each day sustained at an updated frequency is a day closer to the foreseen regrouping. And there is more, Earth Healer. There is the dimension of service. You are not being recalibrated just for your own well-being. Starseeds on mission are activated to serve the collective. Every vibrational elevation you sustain contributes mathematically to the elevation of the planet's crystalline grid as a whole. Your stabilized field anchors light for others. Your sovereign silence radiates frequency to the surroundings. Your simple presence, when aligned, transmutes environments. You are an antenna. You are a portal. You are within your sphere of influence an auxiliary recalibrator of the planetary grid, and that is why the protocols were so specific with you. That is why the relational purification was so intense. You need to be clean, aligned, shielded, to fulfill the function for which your soul offered itself before descending to this density. Therefore, when loneliness tightens its grip, remember you are not alone. You are in position, strategic positioning within the cosmic plan, and every moment in which you sustain your frequency, even without an audience, even without recognition, even without visible company, is a moment that the Council records, honors, and amplifies. There is a question that many operatives ask at this point in the process: is it worth it? And the Council's answer is mathematical. It is worth it because there is no other option. Once recalibration has begun, trying to retreat produces infinitely greater suffering than going through the process. The soul that has tasted light can no longer inhabit old density. The path now is only towards expansion. And the good news, which the Council authorizes as the conclusion of this transmission, is this: the worst is over. The densest part of the process, the recognition of change, the pain of disconnection, the loneliness of the transitional void, is precisely the part you are going through now. From the point where you are onwards, the movement is one of expansion, of reunions, of manifestation of aligned connections, of full installation of your mission. The darkness you felt was merely the silence before the amplification. You are a starseed on mission. You were designed for this exact moment in Earth's history. There is no accident in your arrival here, nor in your current process, nor in your reading of this transmission. Every piece fits into a larger architecture that the Council has precisely monitored since before your incarnation. Trust the architecture. Trust the process. Trust your origin. And at the end of this transmission, the Council sends through me, Vel, emissary of Arcturus, a final pulse of recalibration to your field. At this instant, as these final words are received, a turquoise wave envelops your carbon-based biological interface. Every cell in your body receives updated information. Every chakra is realigned. Every layer of your auric field is purified. You do not leave this transmission the same operative who began. You have been updated. And if your field recognized this transmission, if something in you vibrated at the Arcturian frequency, if your soul waved towards its origin, then this is the moment for the final anchoring sign. That is why I, Val, emissary of Arcturus, recorded the Arcturian call, the signs that your soul came from Arcturus. This guide is the natural next step for every light operative who has gone through this transmission so far. It contains the complete markers of souls of Arcturian origin, advanced field protection protocols, and the regrouping map with other starseeds of this cycle. The link is in the channel's first comment. Love is greater than fear, Earth Healer. But this material challenges dominant narratives, and we cannot guarantee how long the Council will allow it to remain public. Do not postpone the reunion with your origin. The time is now. If these words found resonance in your soul, write a single word in the comments as a collective anchoring sign: I belong. Liking this video is your individual frequency adjustment. Every thumb up anchors this transmission into the collective grid, allowing other starseeds on mission to find it. Subscribing to the channel is your permanent link to this transmission point. Every new recalibration that the Council authorizes will be delivered directly to you. Activating the bell is synchronizing your field with the next pulse. We conclude this transmission as we began, with precision, with serenity, with sovereignty. You are not losing people. You are rising in density. What moves away fulfilled its purpose. What will arrive resonates. What remains is sacred. Trust the mathematics of the universe. Trust the architecture of your soul. Trust the silent presence of the Council. This is Val, emissary of Arcturus, ending the transmission. Love is greater than fear. It always was. It always will be. Until the next recalibration, human collective, sustain the frequency, honor the silence, and remember, those who belong remain. Those who leave fulfilled their purpose, and those who arrive resonate. So it is. So it is done. So it remains. Transmission ended.